Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm Kevin Wallace. And before we get started with today's episode, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Streetside Brewery because they are one of my favorite sponsors ever, if not my all-time favorite sponsor. Look, Streetside, located on the east side of Cincinnati, Columbia, Tusculum, the greater Columbia, Tusculum area, a great spot to be hanging out. Some really cool stuff going on there, including Streetside. And one of my favorite things about Streetside is that they are always doing different events. And my goodness, this week is a busy one for them. On March 6th at 6 p.m., they have the Mango Marshmallow Sour Ale release party. It's called Dream House with Lady on the Roof. This is celebrating National Women's History Month. Really, really, really good beers. Look, when they are doing special releases of beers, pay attention because that's when it's one you want to keep an eye on. And then the next day, March 7th, all day in the East End in Columbia, Tusculum, it is Leprechaun. And this is happening at Fulton Yards and Knuckles Deli and Bandito and, of course, Streetside. Crimson Yoga's got stuff going on. Highmark. There's so much good stuff happening there. So if you have not, if you're looking for an excuse to go check them out, go check out Streetside this weekend. You will not be disappointed. And on today's episode, look, we're talking about a loss. It's a 1-0 loss on the road in the bitter cold, the frozen tundra of St. Paul. It was not a great performance. The defense did okay. The offense did not much, okay? But should we panic? Should we be freaking out? Is this 2025 all over again? Are there any positives to pull out of this? Where is our freak out level right now? We dive into all of that. After a little detour about animals and videos you find on the internet or pre-internet, just to be clear, we're pro-animal here, okay? We're not hoping or wishing for violence against animals. It's just hypothetical mind thoughts, okay? It'll be all right. Part 2, we got to talk to Shwy of Jim Trace and the Makers as they are putting on are part of a show at the Rock and Revival. It's going to be a blast. They're putting up for a good cause. Tons of bands are going to be coming out there. Live music extravaganza this weekend in Cincinnati. You got to listen to this conversation, find out what all is happening. And we wrap it all up with a couple of Patreon questions. You put it all together, you got yourselves a cozy little Cincy Postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I'm joined by two gentlemen who might have been right about everything. Joined by the Chief and joined by Grayson. Chief, a question that rocked the office this past week. I have to ask you.
Yes.
I feel like most able-bodied, capable people could beat up a Canada goose in a fight. Right,
dude,
like that's fair.
They're fearless.
They're vicious.
They're vicious. Yeah.
They're fearless. But one-on-one, I feel good.
I feel good for this reason is that like Canada just can't stop taking L's lately. You know,
it's true. But
women's
here's the
gold
question.
medal hockey, men's gold medal hockey.
But here's the question: how many geese does it become, or does it tip into the geese's favor? We settled on a number, but I'm curious what your number is.
Just me. Versus this many.
This is individual to you, but if you think that's a different number than the hypothetical standard man or woman or human adult, however you want to think of this question.
Like, and this is just for me to survive it. Like,
I need you to win, and I'm going to say this is a fight to the death.
Okay.
You have to kill all the number of geese you're about to tell me.
25?
25 is a good number.
20, 30? Because I feel like you can, like, kicking is going to be effective here, I think, because they're low to the ground and they're at perfect level to really just deliver a boot. But
they
eventually
can fly.
yeah, but like once they're in the air, they can't do much of anything because then they're like what? Like they're more vulnerable in the air than they are on the ground.
Probably. It's the biting, though. It's a vicious bite. And the concern is falling down. I think once you fall down,
you're in trouble.
They can
dogpile once you fall down. But I feel like you can thin the numbers out immediately with kicks. And once they get to the air, you know, you can do a lot. You can get a lot going on. Like you need to avoid being overwhelmed. And I think like 25 is overwhelming. Anything more than that, you're probably in trouble. But
yeah. Grayson, do you have a number that comes to mind?
I mean, honestly, I was thinking like 4 or 5.
Ooh.
I don't know. Like, are they like they're all coming at you at once?
See, this is.
Are they aware? Are they also aware that it's a fight to the death, or is it like?
I'm assuming that they are all participating, like actively in the fight to the death.
Yeah, that was a point of clarification that came up fairly early on. This is not a situation where you are sneaking up on them or otherwise barehanded hunting them.
I could take out so many.
Right. you can thin the numbers pretty quickly before they decide to get aggressive. Yeah, this is mentality. They view you as a threat.
What's the theater of war, though? Is it just like an open field? Is there a roof that prevents them from getting away? Like,
so think of this as a very large cage match. So they can't escape. But like flight,
they say that, but every Hell in a Cell match ends up on the roof of the cell.
Somebody's on top. There's a big latch. There's a ladder that comes in from somewhere.
Yeah. Tables.
I guess the thing that I would have to figure out is like how quickly could I peel a couple of them off?
Right.
You know, because I guess like I would have to be like at full bloodthirst too, because I think one of the reasons people are like scared of Canada geese,
they're protected,
is because they want the smoke. Are Canada geese like? Is this like a smaller kind of geese? Do I not know like different kinds of geese?
Sized.
I'm being pedantic about this. You're not supposed to call them Canadian geese because they don't have,
because they're losers if they're Canadian geese.
But think of them, as the traditional brown and white parking lot terror of everywhere.
Because I think what happens with like, frankly, with what would happen in like a lot of animal confrontations is you as a nonviolent regular person just going about your day, you're going to have like built-in hesitation,
right?
To like really go.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going to like your body and heart are going to be like pulling you, trying to look for ways to pull you out of this. Right.
You're a psychopath if you're like attacking a parking lot goose.
Right. And like you, and like, I think a lot of people also, most people also have like that kind of hesitation to like really hurt anything, like, right? Like, so are you gonna be going full bore with your initial punches and kicks, or is it gonna take like some clawing and biting before you like fully buy into how serious this is?
Or are you like Kevin Denke, where it's like, maybe I'm not gonna shoot, maybe I'm just gonna hesitate on this?
You can't hesitate in a fight to the death with geese.
Like it's a bloodthirsty full berserker, which is why I think that like most people, even people that aren't like, your average doesn't work out or like, works out occasionally. I think most people in these like man versus beast type situations underestimate just how strong a human is compared to a lot of other parts of the animal kingdom. Like when you're properly motivated to go after something, like you're big. Like, you can do this.
Right.
The only thing holding you back is, like what Grayson says, is that it's that voice in your head that I'm better than this, and that by going bloodlust at the goose, I'm lowering myself to the goose's level.
Yeah. I'm fine putting some sort of monetary prize or something that might help get you over the hump. So
no, the goose is going to kill you. Like, that's the thing, is like, this is truly like, and the other thing too is that, like, we don't find ourselves very often as the apex predator living in a first world country surrounded by modern convenience. There are very few situations where it's like, it's me or that thing right there. Right. So again, you lose that frame of reference that, like, you could probably, if it's like only one of us is making it out of here alive, motivation.
Yeah, but I think it would take me at least a little bit of time to actually fully buy into that mindset, into that realization.
Because, like, to kill a goose with your bare hands is fairly violent.
You really don't need but you don't need to kill them.
You do.
You need to injure them. You need to injure them enough to where you can come back and get the straggler.
If you're saying 25, you got to go like one punch death.
You don't need to go one punch.
Because you can't have them, because they'll just keep coming and pestering you.
No, but
like, you feel like, oh, I'm just gonna like maim this one. I'm gonna spend a minute like maiming this one.
No, hold on.
24 are biting you all over your body.
Sure, but what I'm saying though is that, like, look, Obi-Wan didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. He just did him dirty enough that, like, he wasn't a problem anymore.
Forever.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of extra flourishes.
Food.
Yeah,
right. And part of that's because Anakin was fighting to kill and Obi-Wan wasn't.
Right. But what I'm saying though is you don't need to kill the first couple geese. You just need to put them out of commission. Like, as long as they're just on the ground struggling, it's going to be really uncomfortable.
Yeah, but that's just going to be like, you're gonna have to, the blows are gonna have to be intended to kill.
Right.
If they happen to just maim, you don't have to worry about that one.
Right. Then you can go back and get them later. Yeah. They don't have to kill. It's just you can maim as you go along and then go back and finish them up.
They have to be capable of killing to make sure that you're at least knocking them out of commission.
Yeah, no, you got to go for it. But what I'm saying though is you don't have to finish each one of them off. You can just, like, you can break some wings, you can break some legs, and then go and, like, get them later after you deal with their buddies.
Yeah. And I think, like, if people have been like hunting or fishing or whatever, it's deep. It's the act of killing in those situations is depersonalized in a way that is not when you have to, like, literally grab a goose by the neck and snap it.
Yeah.
The goose deserved it though.
Oh, certainly it would in that circumstance.
Yeah. It's probably in this country illegally.
Like, I would feel bad, but not need to feel bad. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen how much they shit all over things too?
They get very territorial. They can be very aggressive.
Annoy you on the golf course. Like, I block you in on a parking lot. Like, dude, geese suck, man.
The number we came up with, by the way, was somewhere between 15 and 20, depending on the person. So your number of 25 is I'll say, in that ballpark.
Yeah.
So
I got to see some type of demonstration for this.
Yeah.
How are we going to
there are
websites? we gotta like myth bust this.
We're trying dangerously close to Mr. Beast, and that really makes me uncomfortable.
No, this is the type of thing that lesser people would be asking AI to weigh in on. But there's got to be a better way. The Mythbusters would have this figured out by now.
You know who would have this sorted out? And I feel really bad saying this out loud. Bum fights.
Oh man, bum fights. There's something I haven't heard in a while. Man, we used to be a proper country.
Oh, Jesus.
Where you could send away for $29.99 and get a videotape of people.
I'm pretty sure all those guys ended up in prison.
I'm not. I don't want to endorse. I don't want to endorse any of this, frankly.
Yeah, no,
correct.
No.
But the thing that was more entertaining, to my like younger and immature eyes, fully disavow, was then the bum fights was like the Kimbo Slice stuff.
Oh yeah, like the the street UFC type stuff, street fighting stuff.
Yeah.
Backyard wrestling, backyard fighting.
Where he would just like beat the crap out of not like, you know, unhoused people necessarily,
Right.
but
Right.
like people who had no business being in that fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And there would always be that like moment in the fight where the guy's like down on one knee and like looking at him, and you see like the fear of God in his eyes.
Yeah.
Where he's like, there's a non-zero chance I'll be dead in 2 minutes.
Right. It is the closest we ever got to like actual Street Fighter, where like the fights were happening in the parking lot of a Walmart, and there were just random people cheering in the background.
Now, somebody else will know this better than me, but I'm fairly certain Kimbo Slice did get...
And got his ass wrecked in UFC. Like, wrecked.
Was it UFC or was it like another MMA?
See,
I feel like it was like an off-brand,
like K1
like
or something
MMA
like that. Or, yeah.
It was
yes, I'm aware of
UFC,
that. Yeah.
like buying up all of the smaller circuits and
Yeah.
brands and things. So, but yeah. Damn, R.I.P. I mean, I think he's still alive, but R.I.P. him as legend in my head.
I'm sure. I don't know anything about his personal life, and I'm going to keep it that way. This is one thing I'm not going to look up on Wikipedia, because there's no way this guy is.
You know, what we are missing,
or whatever.
what we are missing in life a little bit now, like thinking about, you know, again, we used to be a proper country, is that so. I received my copy of Bum Fights because there was a guy in the friend group or in the, you know, the social circle. One guy got it and then made copies for everyone. So you had to know the guy. It was the same way that if you were of a certain age, Jerry Springer Too Hot for TV, where it was the stuff that they couldn't show on the Jerry Springer show. There was always one guy in every friend group that actually called and got a credit card and ordered it from online, from the, you know, call by phone, and then would make bootleg copies for everyone else. And
those stuff always overpromised.
The internet has ruined this idea of the, you know, having the one friend who, you know, had the cool mom or, you know, stole the credit card, and then everybody like ate off this guy's table like that. Now it's too instant gratification. You don't have to make those friend connections to see the good stuff anymore.
So that reminds me, and I also want to voice how uncomfortable I am with how many times we've said the phrase bum fights, because it doesn't this doesn't make me feel good.
To be clear, joy. That was the brand name, which is why it's easier to reference it. That it is incredibly unethical and sad, just very sad.
But you got to remember, it was a part of culture. Like they showed ads for this on TV.
I know. So the Springer Too Hot for TV stuff, which it reminds me of like when they would put out like unrated versions of every comedy.
Yeah.
And it was always like a bait and switch, right? Where it's what technically it's unrated because it's not the version of the film that was submitted to the MPAA for rating.
Therefore.
But the implication was always like, this stuff was too hot for theaters.
Right.
And so it makes you very excited as like a 14-year-old to like watch. Yeah. And I feel like never delivered.
No. Yeah. Of course it never delivered.
Yeah.
But it was a part of like, so like people always think that
there's
like
an early version of like those YouTube clickbait thumbnails.
It was clickbait. Yes.
Yeah. It was clickbait.
It was clickbait, or not only clickbait, but like that was just like, I feel bad for people who missed this part of society where there was just, you'd be watching TV, minding your business, and all of a sudden, like everybody remembers it, just like the steel pan drums would start up, and here's Girls Gone Wild advertisement in the middle of watching television, you know, at 9 o'clock at night on just Comedy Central. And yeah, they were trying to hawk us tapes of Jerry Springer uncensored, Girls Gone Wild, bum fights. And it was just, yeah, it's not a small wonder how we ended up where we are in society right now.
Yeah, you could have predicted where everything was headed. Yeah. Girls Gone Wild guy, another guy went to prison for his efforts there.
And you know what? Like that was like you could have predicted that from moment one. You could have been like, yep, this guy will end his career in a penitentiary of some sort. Might
have done multiple stints for different reasons. I don't remember the details.
Did you see that on the same token, did you see that the guy that this was another just character of a person, the Sham Wow guy is running for Congress now?
Yes.
Also a criminal
he like bit a hook. He bit
what we saying?
What?
A woman.
A woman.
First and foremost, a woman.
A woman partaking in the oldest profession bit her, I want to say, was the story.
Or she bit him?
Yeah.
As a part of a dispute of some kind. I don't remember the exact details, but people were bitten in this incident.
You know, the guy that was selling ShamWows in the slap chop, that was another thing where it was just like, that was America, man.
But to marry your 2 points of you had to know a guy and they usually under-delivered, this was not advertised on TV, but I think it falls into a similar genre. Faces of Death. I don't know if this.
Oh yeah, no, we
rings a bell.
Guy in the fraternity was bootlegging that one too.
So Faces of Death was a combination of like found footage deaths, which is like what it was, but also like it would slip in like obscure movie or foreign film death scenes that looked pretty realistic. So like you were never 100% sure if what you were watching was like genuine or not. But yeah,
it was the original. Like, it was the original. Is this AI?
Yeah. Actually, it was like, is this an Italian movie or am I watching somebody actually die here?
So So the ShamWow guy.
Yeah, talk to us.
Vince Shlomi, I think, is his real name.
That's really good.
Yes.
It's definitely Vince. Yeah.
He joined the Church of Scientology in 1982.
Love this guy so much.
Okay, and he was kicked out in 1999 following the release.
Get kicked out?
he got kicked out following the release of the Underground comedy movie, as the church disapproved of the film's content. And I've seen this movie.
Oh, the Underground comedy movie? Yeah, that was another one that was just traded around college campuses.
It sucks.
It's awful.
It's awful.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be the new Kentucky Fried movie, but it just wasn't funny.
I didn't know you could get kicked out.
Not like how that original South Park like Christmas special, I don't even think it was called South Park back then, was sort of making its way around in the early 90s on copied VHSs. Yeah,
bootleg. And then it was like also on it was like some video game where it was like shipped, like maybe a copy of like Tiger Woods 2002, where the actual full thing was on the disc and they had to recall all of them because it was copyright material that some programmer had slipped in. I forget what the story on that is. But
oh my God. I do not know the story. I have some like vague, inkling of that story.
This is segment one of the postcasts is I vaguely remember this thing from about 15, 20 years ago.
You guys remember the urban legends when you were 8?
Yeah. I didn't know Marilyn Manson could do that.
How did that spread around the country? Every single child knows that story of that era, knows that story. To be clear, it's not true, but you know,
it was a lot funnier when we all thought it was.
I'm realizing now a better content creator would have asked that first question about Canada geese about loons, but I got to be honest with you. I don't know much about the bird, the loon. I don't know if they're more vicious or honestly, if they're bigger than a Canada goose, but
what do you do about it? You know who couldn't get organized enough to kill a bunch of Canadian geese, Kevin?
Grayson? Who's that?
This FC Cincinnati offense.
Oh!
How's that for a transition out of the segment?
Oh! Just brutal.
Yeah. Can I offer a warm and congratulating welcome back to 2026 to the Horseshoe of Doom, the passing chart that defined 2025 FC Cincinnati. We thought we were done with you, but we just can't quit it, man.
So, top line, not a good performance. Like first 15, 20 minutes or so were fine. I thought it was pretty good. It falls off pretty quickly after that.
Yeah. And so I have to ask you, Kevin, Grayson, just before we get into lineups, before we get into anything else, I am going to offer you both the floor to tell me how right I was to reject joining the cult of Dotto based on this performance on Saturday. Kevin, you can start off by telling me how right I was about everything and more on this topic.
I will only say that
no. I need a full-throated defense, son. On
a night when everybody was bad, he was also bad.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that he was uniquely bad. It wasn't that he was the reason why this or that did or did not happen, with the exception of giving up the foul. But I think there are a myriad of factors that come after that he cannot take all of the blame. It was disappointing for the Dotto train. The Dotto bandwagon might have lost a wheel after Saturday. I think if there was a world where he was going to sort of take the reins and really show the world, that would have been the perfect opportunity. After orchestrating the largest victory in MLS history for an MLS team, it's tough. It's tough. That's all I got. I'm not abandoning my boy though.
So I think the crux of the specific disagreement between some of us and the team on Dotto was that he is not like a backup to Evander.
But we saw
he should be played with Evander.
Yes.
He should be given more time playing with Evander, where he has been very good and effective. So given that Evander was out, and Dotto was playing for Evander, this seems to be frankly vindicating of the pro Dotto position. And like I would add that it more lays bare, I guess, the lack of ideas or the lack of the ability to implement ideas that continues to plague the team, where you would expect there to be an ability to like move the ball and generate chances that don't rely on having, one of the most special players in the league do very special things. Like Red Bull are scoring multiple goals a game with 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the league has Dotto, or not Dotto. Well, that's true. Nobody else in the league has Dotto, but nobody else in the league has Evander either.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you don't have Evander, which is true about nearly everybody in the league, like
including
some teams,
us this week.
Yeah. You would expect to have some type of foundation to how you use the ball that can be at least reliable and at least a modicum of effective, that doesn't rely on individual brilliance and creativity. Yeah. And yet we did hear from Pat Noonan at the end, where he seems to chalk it up a lot to like lack of creativity. And that tells me, maybe I'm wrong, that tells me that when you play a team like Minnesota that is packing in the box, right? They're playing very, very densely on defense. They're putting everybody back. They are not trying to really use the ball a lot. They're trying to they're trying to be compact and overload the box, defensively. You should be thinking. I think that a kind of repeatable type of thing is thinking of ways to, well, how can we like stretch them out or get them out of shape, or find moments where they don't have like 10 guys there that we have to break down or like dribble through, or like be creative to trick into like how we're entering the box. Like that would be great if we could do that. But if you're not getting those individually brilliant moments, I would want to see like ideas about how to maybe not need to rely on those individually brilliant moments, and maybe try to figure out how can we use the movement of the ball to not have to get around 10 guys who are packed into and being very organized and very effective, frankly, to Minnesota's credit, in their own defensive third.
You know who I was told would be really good at this by multiple people on this podcast? Who would be creative and who could be that goal scoring threat? Kevin?
With Evander.
Yeah. To be clear,
he
yes.
needs his buddy. Aw.
He would be better with his buddy, I will say. Now, if we want to chalk up the entire lack of offense to the existence of Dotto on the field, then
I was told he was
failure.
the savior. I was told he fixes everything. That he
Nobody said
needed
that.
more minutes.
Nobody said that. People have said that they've created that he's been pretty effective and helped them create more chances when he's been on the field with everybody else than when somebody else has been on the field instead of him. That is the entirety of like the pro Dotto claim. It's not we should build the team around him. It's maybe instead of like throwing out like 7 guys who can't score goals next to Kevin Danke and with Evander, maybe Dotto should get more time there, because he does score goals.
Yeah, because the way I would look at it, and what I said last year when Brenner was signed, was Brenner's ceiling was what Dotto had already brought to FC Cincinnati, and they tied each other on goals. I said that, and you guys thought I was crazy, and you were probably right.
And
but
I still
I'll
think
point
you're
out,
crazy on that.
But I'll point out they scored the same number of goals last year, like, or maybe Brenner might have gotten one more, but it was insane to me that his per 90 stats for Dotto versus Brenner were better than Brenner's. But we suddenly, when Brenner leaves, we cannot find a spot on the field for Dotto unless Evander goes out. Like, was Jabari knocking down the long balls to break down their defense? Were we just cutting in and lobbing it to the big guy standing in the middle of the box? Didn't work. That sucked.
The announcer made a comment about Jabari at one point in the game pretty early. It was after like our 4th or 5th like useless corner.
Yeah.
That might be an exaggeration, but
they were useless.
Well, I mean, 4th or 5th might have been like the 2nd or 3rd useless corner. She said something to the effect of, Jabari is not very strong with his head, or like, using his head is not one of his strengths. And when she said that, my heart sank.
Well, I mean, she also
either she doesn't know which, this is very possible. Either she doesn't know which player is Jabari. Or he's not very good with his head. In which case, I don't know, man. What do we do?
I'm gonna go ahead and chalk this up to the commentator being an idiot, because this same commentator got the fee wrong that was paid for Jabari, and then they had to issue a correction on the fee after they were presumably corrected by someone on the fee.
I missed that one. What was that?
They said it was a $2 million fee for Jabari, and that had to be clarified down to a $1 million fee for Jabari. And then later said Roman Celentano is a 9-year goalkeeper, which is flooring to me because I certainly don't remember him playing in the USL with us.
The other thing that I thought was so funny was that the play-by-play announcer said twice that Samuel Gady played in the Czech First Division.
News to me. News to Sammy too.
He said it twice.
Yeah.
Like the first time it's like he was talking about Pavel, and then he said that his midfield teammate also played in the Czech first division. Maybe that was like a slip up or something. But then later he decided to throw out again that like Gidi played in the Czech first division and holds Slovak citizenship. And my question to you, sir, and he did, I did feel like there was like a moment of like hesitation where he's like, I'm messing something up, I think.
Right.
Because when would he have obtained such citizenship if
Right.
while he's playing in the Czech first division?
There's a moment where you realize, like, wait, Czechoslovakia isn't a country anymore. they had a little divorce.
Yeah. I mean, the comment, like, it was as good a time of any, but the commentary was a clown act this game. Like, they were praising Drake Callender for the most routine saves in the first half of the game. Like, oh my God, what a great play by Drake. What an incredible shot stopper he is. And my man stood there and the ball was kicked right to him. And it was like, what?
You're talking about specifically the Brian Ramirez shot.
Yeah, the first half shot, the Brian Ramirez first half shot. And they were praising it as what a sign of what a great keeper he is. And they go to replay and he's standing in the spot, does not move his feet, and just puts his hands up and catches the ball.
It was a decently struck ball. It was right to Callender, and it was with Ramirez's weak foot.
Yeah. It was a bad shot. It was right at Callender. Like, but the way that they were talking about it, you would have thought he was at full stretch, fingertip save, tipping it over the bar. And it's like these people sucked. This was an awful commentary team.
I've seen some. There was like that one moment where there might have been two, where Minnesota players had like grabbed or hit FC Cincinnati players in the face.
Yeah.
And it was like full on, like, I think one of them was definitely on Ender Echenike. I think the other one might've been on Dotto.
It was on Dotto
in the game. And they're showing the replay, and it's like a full hand.
It's
full face. It's like, I might have grazed him with his fingertips there.
Ender got paintbrushed. Like it was. Yeah. Dotto was embellishing a little bit, I thought, but Ender full on got like a slap to the face.
Well, he did. Like they both experienced contact to the face, and then there was that one moment elsewhere in the game, to be fair, where Barlow hit a Minnesota defender in the face, and like I'm shocked that among these three moments, like, no cards. I'm not even sure any of them were called fouls.
Dotto's was definitely a foul.
Enders was called a foul. Enders was not.
No.
Enders was not. The ball went out of bounds. And if anything,
Enders was a drop ball to Minnesota, I believe. Is what they ended up giving.
What sold me on Enders being real was like strategically terrible time to be going down, man. So either he just has like no game state awareness, or was like genuinely struck in the face and was hurting and, got in his eye or whatever and needed a moment to reset himself. Yeah, that sucked. A
lot sucked in this game.
Let me read through the lineup just to make sure we have it. It was the same lineup that we saw versus Atlanta, just swapping out Evander for Dotto. So Roman in goal, backline of Hadebe, Robinson, Hagland, Ramirez, your left wing back, Echenike, right wing back, Buka and Gidi as defensive box-to-box midfielders, depending on how you want to think about them. Dotto just ahead of them with Kevin Denke and Jabari up top. It's in the 69th minute that Jabari and Dotto are subbed out almost immediately after conceding the goal. It kind of looks like Dotto gets benched for conceding the foul that they ultimately scored on. It was
a bad foul. It was a bad move on his part. Generally speaking, you don't get punished from a free kick there because it's almost too close to score on most of the time. The lineup isn't interesting to me because this is the first team lineup. It's what you were expecting from this team. To me, what is frustrating about this game is that this was to a T 2025 FC Cincinnati. It was the same patterns of play. It was the same look. It was the same problems. The only real difference is that Brian Ramirez is a better wingback than they had at any point last year. And so, yeah, there were times where they looked a little more threatening down Ramirez's side, but there was no one that he could link up with.
Yeah.
You know, Dotto was nowhere to be found offering the 1-2 combination plays that has worked best when we've had wingbacks, like doing the Barrial to Lucho back and forth to open space up. I don't know what Dotto was doing. He was, fucking off in the middle of the field. I have no idea. But the rest of the game was your very typical when things weren't working last year of endless passing from Haglund to Miles to Teenage, back to Miles, back to Haglund, up the field to Probe a little bit to maybe to Guidi or to Buka. And if one of the two of them don't turn the ball over immediately, because they were doing that a lot yesterday, one of the worst games I think Buka has played for FC Cincinnati, it was Probe forward a little bit. I don't like what I'm seeing. Back to Teenage, back to Miles, back to Nick. Let's try it the other way. And it was just... That's Minnesota. Minnesota is more than happy to let you sit there and do that. And they will let you sit there and do that the entire game until you make a stupid turnover. And then they will look to capitalize on a set piece, whether that's a long throw or in this case, a foul outside the box that lets them create chaos. And at no point in this game did FC Cincinnati have what I would consider to be a real scoring threat. It was just a dreadfully dull game from start to finish that was bereft of anything approaching creativity or a tactical approach to break them down. And the only part of this game where it felt like FC Cincinnati had an idea was that they high pressed the shit out of Minnesota for the first 15 minutes and were very effective, and then just decided we're not going to do that for the remaining 70, 80 minutes of the game.
I think that, so first of all, I thought there were a couple of chances that I think are worth calling out. One was the Brian Ramirez shot to Calendar, which again didn't really challenge Calendar, but it was a 0.1
XG chance. Like these were all really, really bad chances.
But it was a nice sequence that set up what could have been a good shot. Ramirez didn't do enough with the shot. Denke had one where he just didn't get really any contact on the ball. Obi had another one where he also didn't get great contact on the ball. So there were, I guess, what's concepts of chances,
right?
We can call them.
But much like 2025, they're all low XG chances that end up with a team XG of 0.5, 0.6.
It was not a lot. And it reminds, I think it's the way Minnesota plays and the way that FC Cincinnati's game ended up. It's very emblematic of one of the stats that I think kind of defined the season last year. And it is when FC Cincinnati went down, they were one of the worst teams in the league. I think they had 4 points from a losing position last year, which was third from the bottom league wide. And it is when the other team decides that their primary focus is going to be on packing it in and defending against you, FC Cincinnati can't figure anything out. That was this game. Because that's how Minnesota starts.
Plays. Yeah, they play from the start. They play like they're ahead of goal on you. They pack it in on you.
Yeah. And I don't want to it's game 2. The announcers pointed out that FC Cincinnati has never started 2-0 in MLS. I didn't check it. Given how they were on everything else, maybe they were wrong. But but if that's true, that would include the Supporter Shield year. That would include 2024 when they were on a Supporter Shield pace until the wheels kind of came off with all the kind of, let's say, internal team drama.
Yeah.
So I don't want to read too much into early season results. And I do think that if you are trying to implement changes early in the season, especially with frankly, a pretty short preseason because of Champions League and all that. I don't think it's that odd that the first couple of games do look like what last season looked like. All the players are the same. The coaching staff is mostly the same. I think that if you want to see changes in how they're approaching the game, and I think you can, people have been in the Discord, they have called out, specific things that they've seen different that, maybe will be promising, maybe we'll see more of moving forward. I think it's going to take a little time to see anything like truly different start to, gel and be effective. So it's not that odd or even, in my view, alarming that they looked a lot like they looked last year, even if it doesn't make you feel good, because, if there's going to be a change, it's going to take time because the players aren't different, except for Ramirez.
So if you want to feel positive before, because it's been negative so far, here's your reason to feel positive on this. Okay. There is an incredibly weird trend in MLS right now. I don't know that there's a good explanation for it. We'll probably talk about it on the World's Gam this week. But home teams right now are just insanely OP. There were 3 road teams that won in MLS this weekend, and all 3 of those teams that won benefited from the opposing team getting at least 1 red card. Yeah. Like every road team that won played a team that took a straight red in the game. The on Saturday, I think it was like home teams were something like, there was 1 road victory out of 11 or 12 games that were of matches that were played on Saturday, and
not a single road victory in week 1, or like maybe one.
Yeah. So it's this weird early season. It's one of those that's so MLS weird things right now, where just home teams are playing way, way better right now than road teams. And it's game 2. So, you don't want to. I think that if you divorced this from everything we saw last year, I think it would be a lot less concerning. And I think that's part of the problem, is that it's still like, boy, did this look really similar to what we saw last year. But it didn't look that way against Atlanta. Atlanta may suck, and they were definitely trying to be more over the top. They played more over the top balls than I can remember them playing, and they were trying to get Jabari into more advanced positions for hold up, which I think is a big difference. But like, there were a lot of similarities to last year. And the other one that like, I feel like I'm on an island with, and I'm okay. I'm ready. I'm ready to be out. I'm going to be out there, much like I was with Dotto, and I'll just wait for everybody to catch up to me on this one. And that's that. It's to me, it's something that I've got a problem with, and that I'm seeing a problem with. And it's that when it comes to Kevin Denke, so far this year, he's played in 3 games, and he scored goals in 2 of those 3 games. He scored a goal against Atlanta. He scored a goal against, stupid O&M down in, who cares? The problem with Kevin is that it is a binary situation with him when he plays. If he is not scoring you a goal, he is offering you nothing in the games where he doesn't score. And I know that it's like, okay, like your striker isn't going to score every game. I get that. But he was invisible yesterday. Like, there was nothing he was doing that was opening chances for other people. He wasn't facilitating play. He wasn't, his passing wasn't helping anybody else out. He wasn't creating space that was opening for anybody else to get free. And it's just this troubling and worrying thing to where, like, I'm rapidly kind of losing patience with it, that for as much money as he makes, and being one of the only two offensive designated players, and especially with Evander out, I need you to be Superman. I need you to be impacting the game always, even if you aren't the person that puts the ball ultimately in the back of the net. And for me, there are just way too many games with him where he is just, was Kevin even playing? And I'm starting to get frustrated with that. And this team needs more out of him especially if they're going to be rocking with a designated player center back, who was the only player, amusingly enough, who I would give a positive grade to in this game. I thought Miles had an incredible game.
Yeah, I think you could give a positive grade to Nick as well. Takes a nasty hit early on in this game as well, which was frustrating to see. I thought we were done trying to kill Nick Hagglund, but apparently not.
No. He's the Miles O'Brien of FC Cincinnati. He must suffer at all times.
Yes. Now, I do have 2 quick points here. I did go ahead and fact check our commentator. That is correct. We have never started 2-0, particularly under Pat Noonan. However, little caveat with that. So in 2022, first year under Pat Noonan, they lost the first 2 games. So, okay, you got that. 2023, they didn't lose the first game until the 8th game of the season. That was the 5-1 game against St. Louis, which was impacted by the tornado and all that. They beat Houston Dynamo in the home opener and then drew Orlando in Orlando the next game 0-0. 2024, similar idea. They lost the first game on the 7th game of the year. It was draw, win, win, draw to start the year. 2025, that is where they won the home opener against New York Red Bulls and then lost that 4-1 match against Philly in week 2. So if you're looking at the seasons of the 4 we have under Pat Noonan, where losses came in the first 2 weeks, they were the 2 worst seasons. That does seem to sort of align with what you'd expect.
Well, 25 wasn't worse than 24.
Oh, I guess that's true. Okay, yeah. I was thinking the pace the 24 team was on versus how they ultimately ended, but you're right. The other point I wanted to bring up, and Grayson mentioned it briefly, but it was pointed out in the Discord, and I applaud the positivity there. And this is a fair point, is that in general, though, while it certainly didn't pass the eye test, if you look at some of the stats, there's certainly more passes that were going into Minnesota's box or into the opponent's box and passes into the final third, particularly from different directions than what we had seen previously last year. It was also, this is my argument, not their argument. I think in general, when you look at where we played really bad teams last year, like Atlanta, like DC in particular last year, this was a better performance in a losing effort than we saw last year performances in losing efforts. You think the team played better against DC last year when they lost versus...
I don't think it's better or worse.
Okay, you'd say it's the same.
Part of the hallmark of it being the same is that we sat and we watched 90 minutes of really no scoring opportunities. Like one somewhat weakly hit Obino Wobodo shot that Calendar stretched and saved. But it's like, that's not the guy you want taking a shot there. Yeah. You don't want him... You don't want to be in a position where he's the guy giving you your best chance of the game. And otherwise, it was like, what were the memorable moments in this game? It was Denke whiffing, and it was that one break that Dotto led where instead of going for goal, he passes out wide to Ramirez and they never get a clean look at goal. Yeah. Makes the wrong choice in that matter. So it would be one thing if it was just not our night, where we were peppering him with shots and he was making great saves, or it was bailout defending and in deflections and we were pulling off good combinations in play. And instead it was just dull. In another hallmark of the 2025 season, it was badly weighted passes that were slowly rolling to people. And it was, you were never going to get the defense out of shape by kicking the ball and it not even making it to its intended target because you've underhit the pass. And look, I get it. Somebody pointed out it was cold. The ball probably felt like a lead weight. Minnesota didn't seem to have a problem with that. You figure it out.
Can I make 2 lineup suggestions for the next home match? I should say the next match, which is a home match against Toronto. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The first one I would make is I would start Obi instead of Pavel Buka, and I would start Tom Barlow instead of Jabari. thoughts and feelings?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't want to. It's fine to me. What I don't want to do, and the person who I don't want to shit on is Pavel Buka. Now, I will point out, I was also the person that was out there last year saying he was not good down the stretch. Having said that, I didn't see anything in the first game against Atlanta that made me think, oh, Pavel is falling off. He had a howler this game. It was not good. Yeah. But Guidi wasn't good either. I didn't think he played particularly well either. So I'm not going to get down here and say, oh, Pavel is a problem. Pavel had a bad game. There's a difference between, I think, being a problem and having an individual bad game.
And I'm not
Kevin,
even saying this.
Are you assuming that Evander is still out?
I am assuming we get Evander back. I don't know if I necessarily change my opinion one way or the other, though.
I think if Evander is out,
I don't think Evander is going to be out. I'm very confident in saying Evander will be back.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's all fine.
If you say Evander's out, would you rather see Obi in for Evander and leave Dotto as like a late game sub or potentially the second striker?
I mean, I would probably do Obi into the midfield, Obi and Guidi behind Pavel.
Okay.
And assuming the formation stays the same, which it will.
Right.
This formation must stay the same.
There are no other options.
It must.
And then maybe Dotto up top.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'd rather have Tom Barlow than Dotto up top.
I would rather see Tom Barlow start than Jabari.
Yeah. I'm not even necessarily saying
at least the
Jabari,
next game. I want to see it.
I'm not even saying Jabari and Buka have like lost their starting jobs. I don't want to see them anymore. Who else can we put up there? I think, and it's against O&M in its late game appearances against tired legs. I think Obi has looked really good this year.
No, Obi played very well. I thought Obi was, when he came in, it was kind of a breath of fresh air in this game.
And I think Barlow has looked very well. And I would like to see what they look like with 60 minutes of game time instead of 30. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. So should we talk about the goal? Because I think we got hosed massively, and I thought it in the moment, and seeing replays has only confirmed that I think I just don't understand what the offside rule is. Apparently,
no, you know it.
What? Apparently I don't, because they checked this and seem to think it was a good goal, when to me it is very clear if you have the benefit of slow down instant replay, which allegedly they should.
So here's what I want to see. So to I guess to talk through the goal real quick.
Yeah,
it's off that set piece.
Dumb foul by
Dotto. And they were kind of the whole defense was kind of out of sorts. Like if Dotto doesn't foul him, he probably has a pretty good look at goal.
Yeah.
I'm not defending Dotto's foul. I'm just saying, like, they were in a position that they probably shouldn't have been.
It was tough. I'll say live, I thought this was in the box. I was very happy to see it was right outside.
Too, but
replay
clearly wasn't pretty definitively was not. So take the free kick. It deflects off of Michael Boxall, who's standing in front of our wall. And then it ends up off the deflection from Boxall, hits the post, comes out, and Minnesota's got three guys at the post. We have nobody close to it. And Kelvin Yeboah heads the ball in, basically tap in. Yeah, basically uncontested, like as easy of a goal as you are gonna find. The call for offside, and what I assume was checked, is whether Yeboah was off when the ball was kicked on the free kick.
Right. Which he was not.
And I think he was not.
No, he was not, because one of the only black marks on him on this game, Brian Ramirez is out of position on the wall, and he is one step behind everybody else who stepped up at the free kick, and Ramirez is holding Yeboah on at the free kick because he goes the wrong direction, or he doesn't react quickly enough with the rest of his team to step up to create the offside trap.
But if you look at the frame when the ball deflects off of Boxall, Yeboah is offside,
which is the frame Evander
clearly
posted, by the way, if you saw that on Instagram.
Yeah. And I know, and my assumption is that the officials did not look for the deflection. Is that they only
Which is
tested
crazy to me. That's crazy.
Because I don't see how you could possibly look at it. Well, one caveat to that, which I'll get to, but I just don't see how you can look at it and say that he's onside when the ball deflects off of Boxall. The only explanation, which I think is very stupid, is one that we have seen from people before, which is like, oh, we can't see like Brian Ramirez's foot and it might be 3 feet long. You know, like we saw that
we
was
have
that,
to
that
make
was
the
that
assumption. Yeah, the Nick
that was
Hagland.
that like Nick Hagland one year, but where they're like, well, you can't see his foot, and you don't know. It's like, but we don't.
It's a foot-sized foot.
Yeah, it's a foot-sized foot. Probably a little bigger than mine, but not like not so much bigger.
He's not wearing clown shoes out there.
I mean, maybe Nick's packing. Who knows?
So yeah. I mean, I think there's. So for me, there's two problems with the goal. One I think is more serious. One is more understandable. Well, two problems with the officiating. Other problems with FC Cincinnati for sure.
Yeah,
but the problem with the officiating is apparently not catching the deflection off of Boxall even on VAR, and recognizing that Yeboah was offside at the time of the deflection. And number two, the ball does seem to hit Boxall's hand or arm.
I think it's a handball,
and it's a handball, and you might say like, oh well, his arm's down at his side, so it's not deliberate. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it leads directly to a goal scoring opportunity.
It doesn't matter when it leads directly to the goal. Exactly. Yeah. Like we've had goals called back by this where, you know, it's a little more clear cut where it's like, the ball like hit Brenner's hand.
Bounces up, hits their hand. It's on the ground. They kick it into the goal.
That would not have been a handball if it was the defender in that spot. But because it leads directly to a goal, you have to call the goal back. So that's two reasons why that goal should not stand. I think what we're going to hear, which is why I don't watch the instant replay stuff, because I don't
state run media.
Yeah. I think what we're going to hear is something like lens distortion, or you can't really see like where Ramirez's foot or something is on the offside, and that the video is not clear enough that it does actually hit Boxall's hand or arm to call it back for a handball. But
it clearly hits him. Like the video, it's so the trajectory and the rotation of the ball changes.
That's what I wanted to ask. Do you think they will challenge whether it touches Boxall at all? Because I could see somebody from a certain point of view deciding to watch that.
A certain point of view.
I don't see how you can challenge that. I don't see how you can dispute that. Okay. From, you know, having looked at the video enough, and I don't have the ability to, like, you know, slow mo. I can stop it, right? But like they have a little bit more capabilities than like I do on my phone,
right?
For exhibit video, and I'll tell you, the one explanation that I would accept is unfortunately not actually the rule or how it works, which is. There's no way the ref could have seen this in real time, or the ref would not have clearly been expected to observe all this in real time. So it's not clearly. Rule. I know, but this is the standard I've been arguing for over and over and over again. that it should just be judged at game speed from the ref position. Is it a clear and obvious error? Which would mean that did the ref make a mistake as judged by the fact that the ref is in a certain position and the game is happening in real time. So like, I wouldn't even allow them to to slow motion back and forth and all that crap. I would say you could watch it like 2-3 times at full game speed. If you see a clear and obvious error, you could reverse it. Otherwise, we're moving on. But that's not how they do it.
That should be the standard in every sport.
I don't think the linesman should be expected to see the deflection to call the offside there, or to default to the assumption of a deflection. Like,
yes, but with VAR and how it works, this should have been called back. And this isn't sour grapes, because FC Cincinnati did not deserve to win this game. I'm not saying, so I'm not going in. I'm with Pat Noonan.
Yeah,
they didn't do enough to say that the game, it was like 3 points dropped or whatever.
Right.
But it should have been called back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's certainly the 1 point dropped.
Yeah. The problem is I have no doubt in my mind that they would have gone over this like the Zapruder film if it was our shot on goal. And they would have.
Of course.
Because we've had goals called back because some other person was in an offside position and was impacting the play. Like they go out of their way to find reasons to call goals back. And like, yeah, I am claiming it's a conspiracy and everybody else is in on it. Like there's no doubt in my mind that gets called back and they find a reason to call that goal back for us.
If you did want another positive from this game, and I don't know if this is a Minnesota problem more than a positive for us, they didn't look particularly threatening this game. They had a couple of chances. I'm not going to say they didn't have opportunities.
They had 2 XG.
Yeah, they created a couple of good chances in this game. Like I think they had a lot of threatening opportunities, and that's why Chief and those stuff is like why Chief said Miles had a great game.
Yeah.
Like Miles sniffing out their opportunities when they had them.
Yeah, like Marcanic had like a wide open shot that he just missed. It was full net on a cross. And he just like whiffed it and put it into the stands. They had multiple dangerous opportunities in this game. I don't think we deserve to, like, we got hosed on the call, but by no means did I think that we were the better of the two teams. I think that if on balance, Minnesota was better from start to finish in this game, outside of maybe the first 10 minutes when we were really aggressively turning the screws on defense.
And I guess what I would add is like, yes, like Miles is really good and he was really good against Atlanta. I don't think that's an argument in favor of DP Miles.
No, I don't think so either.
I think the fact that he's having to bail us out time and time again because we leave huge gaps in the midfield and we can't like play with the ball effectively and we leave ourselves open to counterattacking opportunities is an argument for that third DP spot should be spent on like a replacement for Pavel or Sammy Giddy.
Right.
Or a fourth midfielder.
Yeah, or potentially
or having a fourth midfielder. Yes.
I think you could have the argument of a DP center back doing all of that with 2 center backs. Like play with wing backs, play with 2 center backs. So this same lineup, but let's say in this case we're swapping Hadebe for Evander on Sunday, right? Like now you have an argument for Robinson's doing the work of 2 defenders.
It's never going to change. That's the
it's
problem.
Not going to change. I'm saying this setup would allow me to mentally justify the DP spot, which if he is literally doing the job of two people.
Doesn't a 4-man midfield of Giddy, Obi, Pavel, and Evander seem pretty good?
Probably the best midfield in the league, depending on how you view
Vancouver. Doesn't that seem better than like a 3-man midfield and like teenage Hadebe juggling to himself to do bicycle kicks in the corner?
That was dope as hell. I will hear nothing about that bicycle kick. That was amazing.
If we did that, then who would Nick and Miles pass to aimlessly around the midfield? They would get lonely back there if there were only 2 of them. Oh, Obi, that would be grand. Obi, that would be fun.
Yeah, Obi, or we have a rule. The second a center back touches the ball in 3 consecutive passes, on the receiving of the 3rd pass, they have to launch it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if we're setting up something nice. You're launching it. You're finding Jabari.
And in that setup, Obi goes back and becomes essentially a 3rd center back, like when we have the ball forward, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
So you're not losing much. You are just you're not losing much from that standpoint. You're just, we got a couple more ball players a little higher up the field, and we can cover the midfield better.
Yeah.
My last point that I want to make before we move on,
Please,
because there's not a lot left over on this. This was the first game where I looked down the bench at the end of the game and I was filled with sadness, because you're chasing a game in Minnesota against a bunkered in team, and the salvation, the reinforcements is Kenji Mobadem, who, God love you, you had a great game against a team that was made up of, part-time employees. Kenji Mobadem should not be getting MLS minutes, and he should not be the person that's coming in to try and help you to find a goal in a game. The bench is not great this year.
It's with Dotto starting and Evander out, there was quite literally no offensive subs available outside of Tom Barlow.
And it is, I think it's Kenji Mboma Dem, not Moba Dem.
He can play better soccer, and I'll learn how to say his name.
Oh, sure. But I appreciate people. Yeah. And Chief, you're right. I saw a lot of people criticizing the subs. Like, why are we putting on a Nungo? We're trying to win this game. And I get that. That's just, there's literally nobody else, right? Like, you can't get mad at that sub. You can get mad that Anunga is the only option. I want to make sure people aren't directing their anger towards Noonan. You should be directing that anger towards Albright.
Which is a conversation for a later date. But there is this team badly needs to go out and try and find another U22 that's like an attacker. That is a striker or someone that, like, late in games, you can throw something more at the opposition. They have the roster space to do it. I think they have the budget to do it. They need to do it. They need to go bite the bullet and find someone, at the very least, by the summer window.
Yeah. What does Christian Fletcher coming back from injury roughly around the time of the World Cup break not excite you enough, Chief?
No, like, everyone says this guy's good, but like, if he was good, he wouldn't be available to us. Like, let's be real about this.
I wouldn't be hanging all of my hopes on there. They need at least one more attacker, and ideally I think a young guy would be good. I'd like.
It has to be a young guy, because they can move someone else off the U22 spot and bring in somebody that's actually decent. If you're not utilizing that U22 swap, the budget isn't there to bring anyone over that isn't like, Tom Barlow 2.0. No offense to Tom, but like, if you're looking to try and bring someone in that changes the dynamic, it's pretty much like a U22 is your only option.
Yeah, you're probably right. I was going to say, I wouldn't mind a sort of MLS journeyman veteran, but he'd have to be flexible. You could put him in the midfield, put him up top. I need something like that. I don't think he needs to be
flexible.
You know who was waived and picked up by Austin and scored in his first game?
Christian
Ramirez.
Yeah.
Like, we have never, like, I've been whining about the fact that we don't have like Christian Ramirez or his equivalent on a Christian Ramirez type contract on our bench for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I guess 4 years probably.
Did Kai Kamara last year.
We'll have Ayub Jabari on a TAM contract and be happy.
But he's tall.
He is tall. Is he good with his head? It's much to be debated.
I do feel like his haircut probably makes it difficult to head the ball.
I do think players do not, utilize the haircut to emphasize their play more. Like, original Ronaldo had the absurd haircut. I understand was like not related to this, but I feel like it had to be good for headers. So.
What if Jabari got like a Babylon 5 type haircut and just put a ton of like fix your lid in it to make it real hard and stiff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like making him like even taller,
right?
And he's like if he misses it with his head, the hair will catch it and bring it down.
Ooh, could you shape it so that it's not unlike the
highlight thing.
A lacrosse stick. Lacrosse stick where you sort of like capture the ball on the top of your head and then fling your head forward.
I mean, if the ball gets
like
caught in your hair. Yeah. Like a net, like a hair net, quite literally, a net of hair.
I see no downsides here. I think this would work out.
I think you go for like the Predator dreads and you just use it and you just whip people in the face with it.
Ooh, yeah. There's got to be rules around like beads, right?
That was like that was like in the WWE back in the day. Bianca Belair, she could whip people with her hair braid because it technically wasn't a foreign object; it was part of her.
It's like the NFL, where about once a season you see a really good hair tackle, and you're like, "Ah, part of the player. You're allowed to do that."
Cut that off, man.
Yeah, that's rough. All right. I think that does it for this game. We'll see how the team bounces back. I think there's plenty of mitigating circumstances with this, where if you want to have some cope, you could say second game of the season, it was really cold. So we're moving on. And we're moving on to part 2, where we get to talk to Shwy. And Shwy's a good guy. Jim Trace and the Makers are playing a big show coming up this weekend. So we talked to him about that. There's a little FC Cincinnati talk sprinkled in there as well. But it's a good cause. It's a good time. It was a great conversation. So enjoy this conversation with Shwy. We'll catch you on the other side with a couple of Patreon questions, and we'll get you out of here.
This ad because my dad said it was cheaper than paying intern Luke. If you like FC Cincinnati and you're still listening to this stupid podcast, you might also like the stuff that is for sale on the Post website. There are some designs on there that are pretty neat and some that needed a little more work. There is even a reversible bucket hat that says Noonan out on one side and Noonan in on the other side, which I've been told to say is very funny. If you even buy something, Chief might even release away days. Go to thepostcincy.com and click merch. Or don't. That's okay too. Okay, thanks, bye.
Joining us here in part 2, an incredibly special guest. Not only because we all kind of like him, but also because you listen to him every single time you're listening to an episode of the Cincy Postcast, of the World's Gam, of Half a Score. It's all of it. We got Shwy here. Shwy, how you doing, man?
I'm good, and I want to apologize to all your listeners for that fact that you just stated. I know it's getting rough after all these years, but no, I'm doing well. Good to see you, fellas.
Good to see you too.
Start of another fun year of FCC and JTM, I guess. Yeah,
it's the season opener for a lot of people.
yeah. Kind of is. It feels like this with what we're going to talk about.
Well, you know, I guess I should have fully explained it. You are one member of Jim Trace and the Makers, the band that does all of the music that you hear across the various podcasts. And I've always wanted to know, and I apologize if I've already asked you this, do you know which of Jim Trace or the Makers, where you are in this? Are you Jim Trace? Are you a Maker?
Well, I don't know. I feel like, we're all kind of makers. You know what I mean? It's more of a lifestyle. It's more of a mentality, right? That's kind of, we're all makers, right? You guys are makers with this podcast, FCC. It's just kind of it's more of a life brand.
Yeah, we're just making this up as we go along.
Just making stuff, man. We're just making stuff, dude. In the age of AI, now we need to be making stuff as humans. No, in all seriousness, I am not Jim. There is a Jim Trace, whether or not it's a real guy or not. I mean, you can track me down for the full lore, but I do not claim to be Jim Trace. I am firmly a maker in the background. But I think I've said it before. The way we did get our name, it has bourbon kind of kind of origins. So when we were trying to come up with the name, I guess I'm kind of giving it away. There is no Jim Trace. I'm kind of realizing it now. But no, when we were starting the band, we spent, I mean, it literally felt like a month trying to come up with the name, and you're just like, you're trying to not be cringe, and it's just like everything is cringe because like you don't want to be too serious, because if you take it too serious, then that's kind of lame. Then you want to be funny, but you're like, well, I don't want to be a funny band name. So at one point we kind of fed up, and we were just like looking around in our garage that we were practicing in, and there was literally 3 bourbon bottles that were on the wall that we were kind of drinking from, and it was Jim Beam, Buffalo Trace, and Maker's Mark, and we said, fuck it, like that works. It kind of it has the long A vowels, like it kind of rolls off the tongue, and just was like, yeah, we'll just do that. We'll just be that kind of sounds like a folk band, so that's kind of how we got it started.
Love that. Like that. It's the best naming convention in band history, going back to like the 1960s, where it was everything was just something in the somethings or so and so. It's like here opening up for Frank Sinatra. It's Johnny Casino and the Gamblers, and no matter what you said, it sounded cool. Like there was no way to make it not sound cool.
There's a running bit in the band that Brendan, our drummer, wants me to start like a jazz funk band and call it Shwy and the Special Touch. I'm like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, actually. That kind of sounds sick. So we'll workshop it. I just need to, I need to find a lot of good musicians, because I am not one. So if I'm going to be leading a funk band, I need someone to prop me up a little bit.
At least you're not going for a soul band and it's Father Shwy. That would cause a lot of problems.
a gospel band? Oh, there we go. Father Shwy and a Special Touch. No. We don't do that here. We don't do that here, guys.
This is our big hit, our secret.
Off their debut album, Spotlight.
Oh, man.
No.
God.
So anyway, rock and revival.
So workshopping new controversial band names. Although in today's day and age, you might be able to get away with it,
Right? No, it's like you said. It's that when you open your phone these days, you have no idea, like, is this real? Is this not real? Like you get taken in by an AI video or an AI song. Going out to see live music, it's kind of the last thing the robots can't take from us.
I know it is starting to feel that way. There is a look in people's eye, like this is all we got, man. Until the holograms start coming, you know what I mean?
Right. But for now, it's still a thing.
Chief, you say that, but I was put on to this scam recently that once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll see, especially in suburban America, these folks, I guess you'd call them buskers, but it doesn't feel appropriate to give them that title. They are playing an electric violin on like a single amp, usually in a parking lot of like a Kroger or a Walmart or something like that. And it looks like they're just playing the most beautiful music you've ever seen, and people are donating them money. They sometimes will have a sob story written out on the billboard. It's a recording. They are not playing that. They are just miming their little electric violin that they bought.
The old Milli Vanilli. We've had that for a while now.
Right. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a tale as old as time.
It's like, do you take requests? Not unless it's on the recording.
No.
Let's see. What do I have coming up next? Do you like this song? Because this is.
Yeah. The set list is pre-recorded. I mean, pre-written. So you guys have been playing a lot more shows lately. How's it feel to be getting back out there? How's it feel to be, I don't want to say hitting the road because it's been a lot of local shows, but I mean, the road is relative. Yeah, the road is relative.
Yeah. It's we have a famous shirt that's called Close to Home Tour, and it's all Cincinnati dates, and at the bottom it's a Newport, Kentucky date. Really hitting the road. No, but you say that, and we have really kind of started to pick up, playing out, and it's been great. It's really been, kind of going back a few years. The band's really gone through a lot of changes. So we've had a lot of new members come and go, and I think we definitely did hit a little bit of a lull coming out of COVID, and obviously there were some natural reasons for that because of COVID. But
maybe
I think it did kind of take us longer to. Maybe not. Well, it depends who you ask.
Right.
But it did take us a bit to kind of get that momentum going, and so we put out an album last year. Actually, I think literally it was almost a year. The year anniversary I think was 2 weeks ago. And that really kind of like lit the spark under us. And now we actually picked up a new member. We have a new fiddle player. Her name's Katrin, and she's been playing around, local bands in Cincinnati for the longest time. And we kind of got hooked up, and she was looking for kind of a new thing to join. And she's a perfect fit because she plays fiddle, she plays piano, and she sings harmonies. And our kind of our bread and butter has always been our harmonies. We're like I said, we're not like the best musicians. We all kind of came to our instruments late. And she's really added a nice dynamic layer, and it's really kind of relit the spark again this year to start playing more live shows. And Chief, kind of what you said, like there is a sense of like we want to play live because like that's what matters these days, and that's really kind of what it's like going to see a game live. It just like we kind of feel like we're losing that a little bit, and it is nice to see how many people are coming out to support live music, and so like we want to make sure that we're riding that momentum just like with them. So, we're kind of definitely in a, really trying to avoid saying no to shows because we want to do as much as we can. So for sure.
And so then we've come to the Rock and Revival, which is, for my money, one of the coolest events that happens locally in Cincinnati. And it's interesting too, that each year for the past couple of years, it used to be Rock and Revival was one of the only major like shows that had sort of picked up from what Midpoint Music Festival used to be if you're local to Cincinnati, where there was an opportunity to see a lot of different cool local independent bands, not just playing cover songs at ML Dudes or something like that, of people that are making their own music that are out there in the music scene locally. You guys just played one of the newer ones this past weekend down in Kentucky. That was a big gathering of local music. So I'm happy to see that's improving and there's more of that. But for those people that haven't heard of it, what is the Rock and Revival that's coming up this coming weekend?
Sure. And real quick, shout out to Cabin Fever Music and Arts Festival down in Ludlow, Kentucky. They're doing awesome stuff down there. And it was really, really, really fun this past weekend to do that. So the Rock and Revival, actually, this is the 10-year anniversary. So I know we're coming up on a lot of 10-year anniversary themes, with the team and now with this event. And so it's, like you mentioned, it's a strictly local music festival. So you mentioned Midpoint. Midpoint was awesome because it was kind of a blend of local music, but they would get regional to national touring acts, and it was they would shut down the streets, and it was a big deal. This is purely local music of Cincinnati and kind of the tri-state regional area coming together to put on a music festival for charity. So the founder of this festival, Adam Forstoffel, actually used to play in our band. He moved on to kind of focus more on his original band, The Grove, who are the headliners for the show. But his dad actually passed away a few years ago of glioblastoma, which is a type of rare brain cancer. And it's unfortunately it's pretty much like a death sentence when you get this diagnosis. It's brutal. It's brutal. It really just it wreaks havoc. And there really isn't much that you can do. And so he wanted to start this to kind of in memory of his dad, to raise money and to and try to fund research. And he's always been playing in local bands. So he thought, what better way to try and raise money and try to create some awareness than doing what I do best and getting my local band friends together and putting on a show. So, I remember like that first year, it was probably like 9 or 10 bands, and it wasn't an all day thing, but it was really, really cool to see like, oh, okay, like, we're getting this off the ground, and like people came out and it was really fun. And now to see it 10 years later, and like, it's really one of the, I would say, premier local music events of the year, is really, really cool. And it's all going for a good cause. And then the added wrinkle is that his mom was actually just diagnosed with cancer within this last year. And so now it's the John and Julie Forstoffel Cancer Foundation that all the proceeds go to. So obviously all the funds from the tickets go to this go to this charity. And then also I think Ryan Geis is donating $1 for every beer purchase. There's going to be split the pot, raffle items, all those things. And now it has an extra added meeting for Adam because his mother is dealing with cancer now too. So we're so happy we can be a part of it. And every year it's always a blast. And the little that we can do to kind of just donate our time is it's special. It's special to help out.
So it's $1 off. It's $1 of every beer purchase goes towards the foundation as well. Is that only Rheingeist beers, or does the Foster's oil can that they serve at the Southgate House, will that also result in the $1 donation?
I believe it's just Rheingeist beer, but yeah, unfortunately that means I won't be donating a lot of my beer money to the. I'll do it separately because when I go to the Southgate House, it's just the Foster's. Just
Foster's. It's the only thing I can do out there.
That's honestly, it's like why we take shows there. It's like I just want to drink a giant can of Foster's, while I play some music. It's the best part. It's
Seriously.
The best part.
And so yeah. I gotta ask, with this show, you can get more information on it at the Southgate House Revival's website. We're going to put a link in the episode description on where you can get tickets to this. It's an all-day show. Starts at 2 p.m. on Saturday, March 7th. I note, as you said, that the headliner is The Grove, which is Adam's band, another great local band. If you haven't seen them before, they put on a really good live show. The next name on the poster really did draw my attention a little bit. Yeah. Is that the Bronson Arroyo?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, it is the Bronson Arroyo. I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he might have played music while he was a pitcher. I feel like that was, like he was,
I saw Bronson.
He released albums while he was pitching.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he released an album while he was pitching. And then I have actually seen Bronson Arroyo perform before. He opened in like what I would consider to be the most Cincinnati thing ever. He opened for Darius Rucker at the pit at Elder High School for a concert that was being thrown by Kyle Rudolph, former tight end of the Minnesota Vikings, who was an Elder alum.
Oh my God!
It was Marty Brenneman who was the MC who introduced Bronson Arroyo playing a concert at Elder High School. And the only way this could have been more Cincinnati is if Fiona the Hippo would have done an appearance on the streetcar coming by.
Right? Yeah. Or they had like Skyline Chili, like guns,
right. Shooting cans in the Skyline like the T-shirt.
Yeah.
So
just knocking people on the crowd.
So Bronson Arroyo, Reds legend, World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox, will be present for this show, and you get to hear a little bit of music from a former Reds pitcher. That's kind of cool. Yeah,
it is cool. He's actually, I haven't seen him live. I know that he did. Chief, I know you're familiar with Radio Artifact over in Northside. He did, I believe, either a show or he was part of kind of like a circuit of shows there. Doing like live recordings with another guy named Matt Waters, who's a kind of a local legend here. Just another local musician who does these like Wednesday events over Radio Artifact. I know Bronson was doing that pretty regularly. So I don't know his story. I don't know if he kind of took a break and now he's coming back. But he's going to be playing the Sanctuary. He's going to be playing in the in the church. It's going to be cool. I can't wait to see it, man. It is kind of wild to be like, wait, I remember that long bleach blonde hair with that. That kind of unique
straight
delivery.
leg, that straight leg kick, straight leg kick wind up.
Yeah, man, that'll be cool.
Like go there to see the show, be like, hey man, I saw you take a no hitter into the 7th inning of a game. Then you got walloped in the bottom and the top of the 7th.
Okay, so if it can't be Nick Hagland, which current or former FC Cincinnati player do you think has the best chance of going on to becoming a regional acoustic act?
Ooh, acoustic act.
All right, I have my answer.
Just a man and a guitar and a lot of feelings. Chief, who do you got?
Go ahead, Chief.
Lucho Acosta with like a giant guitar.
Oh my God.
Like
Miguel from Coco.
Yeah, just like doing soulful ballads on the guitar. Maybe with his shirt off, just flexing the huge tattoo of the Capitol on the back.
I'm thinking, my answer for almost everything is always Elvis Powell because I love that man so much. But I'm trying to think of someone like, I don't know, like more sensitive that would kind of be a little bit more ballady. Maybe one of the younger kids, maybe like Shirilla or something like that.
Ooh, yeah.
You know who?
Elvis Powell.
Dotto. What about Dotto? I think Dotto. Dotto could. He could do anything. It seems like So maybe he could.
You know who my answer is, and it's not the soulful type of acoustic. It's like the I don't know, like mid-aughts, like frat bro
Stomp
with like
clap.
a little bit of attitude and has like a bit of a potty mouth on him. I'm talking about like your Matt Nathanson, talking about your like Jason Mraz types, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the answer for me is Miazga.
Okay, I can see
You
that.
know, he'd have like a bunch of like
Fedora.
Yeah, he'd have like a bunch of like cheeky,
like a tiny fedora.
He'd have like cheeky songs about like taking your girl and stuff like that.
There is kind of kind of a John Mayer vibe to Matt.
Yeah,
it's
that's a great comp.
I'm with like a little bit of like a pouty face, like I'm an asshole, but you can't stay away from me.
Right. Well, like I'm an asshole on the field, but I got to show you my softer side a little bit.
I'm still an asshole.
I'm still an asshole. And also, much like John Mayer, I won't date anyone over the age of 25. So.
Hang on.
Wait. Disavow.
Easy.
What about Jeff? Jeff Cameron also has that vibe too, where like in terms of former FC Cincinnati
Jeff
players.
Cameron would open for who's the lead singer from like Stained, who did like a hard
Scott Stapp.
No, that's Creed.
That's Creed.
He did.
Creed.
I don't know.
He did like a hard like right turn.
Yes.
Where he sings about how like Bruce Springsteen is like destroying America and stuff.
Oh, really?
Aaron Thorpe. Is his name Aaron Thorpe?
Don't know.
I don't
He
know.
played at the Taft like last year. And
I'm not.
So I
really
where I was I don't know, whatever. Sometimes I'm leaving like an office building downtown that happens to be like close to the Taft, right? And it's like right around the time like crowds are starting to arrive there. And so it's like a little game where I try to like look at the people walking to the Taft and like figure out like what kind of thing is this, you know?
Right.
Because they do everything there, you know?
Yeah. Like goes from like, you know, like the Yo Gabba Gabba Live to, you know, hardcore Christian rap.
It's like one day I noticed that like every single group was like 3 or 4 women with like a smattering of men who were in groups of mostly women. And I looked over, I didn't recognize the name on the marquee. I looked it up. It was a nurse comedian. Like a comedian who was like a nurse and like went viral.
Like they like dressed up as a nurse or used to be a nurse?
Dude was a nurse. And then he started posting like
a male nurse.
A nurse.
All right.
and dude would like post like reels or TikToks or whatever about like being a nurse and got a big following of like mostly nurses. And then now tours like a comedian who
does like nurse
comedy. Does nurse comedy.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody, man.
The Taft has
right. The entire set is just saying the doctor will be in to do his set shortly.
Yeah,
and it's actually just asking all of the same prompts again, even though you've already answered everything.
I'm gonna need your name and date of birth.
Just
and why are you here? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't prescribe you pain meds. You've been here 3 times this week already.
So anyway, there was like the day that the lead singer was from Stained was there, and the crowd was absolutely cursed.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. All right, let me ask you guys. Okay, if I give you singer, guitarist, bassist, drummer, make that band up with FCC players. That I know that we didn't. This is no prep for this.
Yeah.
But who do you got? Maybe we can add together as a group. Can we come up with a band?
We'll do it together, and they have to be current.
Okay, current.
So we're just on the roster now. I'm putting Roman on drums. Drummer feels like a goalkeeper move generally.
Yes.
Okay. I will take on bass. The South Park joke would be to say Miles Robinson.
But it does feel defender, right? Like bass kind of feel like foundation.
Yeah.
Like it's not a lot of flat.
No, the answer is Obi. Obi on bass.
Oh, that's okay. I like Obi on bass.
He's still defensive, and you need the rhythm section on the same page. So goalkeeper, defender makes sense there. I like that.
I mean, like, are we going to like Evander guitarist or singer?
Evander would be like Evander would be like when Prince did the Grammys, where all of a sudden he just went off on his own. Yeah. Like in the middle of like my guitar gently weeps, and it's just like, I don't care. I'm playing my song. Y'all are just along for the ride with me.
Evander's kind of got Prince vibes, like just he's pretty chill, but like he's got he's got that dog in him when he wants to be. But remember when Prince did that solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, Chief just. I remember that from Chief that a minute ago.
Oh my god!
I was like, wait, is he going to reference the Super Bowl? Because that was it's the same reference.
That was literally. I just had the most short-circuited moment of my entire life.
It reminds me of Prince.
Is
it Prince? Wow.
So I'm thinking Roman on drums.
It's been a long weekend.
I don't want to turn this into a debate. I don't like Roman on drums.
Ooh.
I feel like if we're going with a keeper, it's got to be Evan, because Evan's got Evans seems to be much better in distribution. But
you don't want a shot stopper on drums. You want the guy that's like the distributor on drums.
But my first stop for drums was Pavel, because it really feels like he's the guy in the center who's like kind of carrying everything forward, right? He's not like the star of like any one thing, but he's like kind of at the centerpiece, keeping the rhythm to the extent that there is a rhythm. Right. And if he's off, the whole thing is off.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that lead singer is that we're really like, it's not clear what kind of genre of music we're building here.
Yes.
But like, I'm saying that Kevin Denke is the lead singer and doing the Incubus thing where he's just taking his shirt off mid-set all the time.
My only thought with the Evander guitarist singer idea is that the singer always has the option of going solo, because the voice and the front man's the hardest thing to replace once the band becomes recognizable. And Evander does always seem to be hanging the threat of going solo over whatever team, whatever band he is with.
Kind of a good call there.
To me feels like he's more singer, which then I want energy on guitar, and that's where Nick Hagelin comes in. I don't need the best, most talented guitarist, but I need somebody up there with some flair.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
who's going to have fun.
Nick is steady. Nick is not flair. If you want flair, it's like it's teenage doing a bicycle kick, just unnecessarily.
Maybe that's who I want on guitar.
I kind of feel like we have two singers. I don't know which, but so let's say like Evander and Kevin are both singers, right? And I think
so they can go fight like the Gallagher brothers in Oasis.
I think about a band like Fastball, where they have like a lead singer, but every song is sung by the other guy.
Yeah.
Right.
They have other songs.
Infamously, like Night Ranger, like Sister Christian was the one song that the drummer sang.
Yeah.
And that was the song that they got that. Yeah. Yeah, we got two singers. I like that. I see Hagelin feels like more like a Keith Moon drummer. Like he's just like that's where mine went with drummer was Hagelin, just because I'm just like, dude, he's just a psycho. Like you see him in these social, he just there's no no care in the world, and it's just a vibe. And like drummer bass, you have to be a vibes guy.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
And like Nick's a little goofy too. And I think to be a good drummer, you've got to be a little goofy because your arms are working at different speeds. Yeah.
I think we've kind of centered on the problem with the team is that there is no guitarist.
Ooh, did we just stumble into some like genuine analysis for the issues here?
If FC Cincinnati were a big band,
right,
everybody has to play an instrument.
Right. All right, if they were a ska band.
Who's on trombone?
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of the answers are, but Alvis Powell is definitely the guy that has no job and just dances out in front.
Barlow's on trombone for sure. Kyle Smith looks like he plays trumpet.
Yeah,
I got to be honest.
He might actually play trumpet.
Yeah, he might.
Go look up some old LaSalle yearbooks.
There you go. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we could do that exercise. We'll share it with the team. We'll see what they think.
I would be curious.
Honestly, this is better content than most teams in MLS generate. Like,
this would be a good thing for like the team to ask the players. Like, I ask a quarter of them who's on drums, ask a quarter of them who's on bass, and sort of let the team build through consensus.
And then they got to learn Mr. Brightside and play it live after a game.
This is actually how the team, we've been having problems connecting passes in this last game. You all are going to learn to play Mr. Brightside together as well. We had to build teamwork on this team.
Hell yeah. Fan vote on the song that they have to learn.
It's like one of those Drumeo videos. It's like the team has never heard Mr. Brightside.
They also don't know how to play any of these instruments.
Oh my God. Does anybody here remember when John H. Benjamin did a jazz album that was called, I think it was literally called like I Really Should Have, and then the subtitle was Learn How to Play Piano. And what he did was he hired a jazz trio to play all the instruments except for piano, and he played piano, but he didn't know how to play piano. That's
jazz,
so
baby.
funny.
That's jazz.
You listen to the first song, you're like, all right, I get it. And then the piano comes in. It's like, why is there a cat on the piano? Like, what is going on?
That sounds like an SNL sketch. That's incredible.
Whole album.
Otherwise forgettable and mostly unfunny album. But the one part of when Jack Black was doing his Tenacious D thing, there's one song on that album. It's called Saxman, where the entire bit is they're playing a song, and every so often Jack Black will throw it to the guy playing the saxophone, and the person cannot play the sax. It's like it's making like really sad squealing noises, and the guy can't play the saxophone. They keep with the bit way too long, and it just keeps getting progressively funnier and funnier.
That might be the funniest instrument to throw to someone too. Like because you think if you play the saxophone, you're like, oh, this guy, he crushes. Like no one learns the saxophone unless you're crushing. But like, just like flounder through it.
It's too expensive to just own one.
Right. Like you go to see a band and they got a saxophone player on stage, like, this is gonna fuck right here. And then all of a sudden the guy's like blowing and no sound is coming out of the instrument.
Just way too much squeaking. Yeah. He's blowing out the spit valve. He's like, I think this might be what's wrong.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of shitty bands, I was looking at the rundown of this of the event, and
where are you going with this?
5 o'clock. There's this little band called the Hang 10 Friends. I've heard nothing but terrible things about them. So I should say that is my brother's band. I'm gonna throw it out there. It's my brother's band.
We're just gonna let that linger. Just absolutely going to just going in on one band. Like, yeah, this band fucking sucks here.
They suck. No, apparently, my brother used to play in the Grove briefly. I don't think for too terribly long. But is in a new band, and he's excited about this. I don't believe he is opening for you, Mark, but he is in the same room 2 bands before you. So opening correct. Your opener is how I'm choosing to believe that is going down. So. Yeah.
So I think I might have failed to mention, but South Carolina House Revival has 3 different rooms, different areas. So you have the Sanctuary, which is their main room, and it's it was an old church they turned into a music venue. So the main room is literally just where the altar used to be. It's the church room, and then there's a lounge, and then there's an upstairs called the Revival Room. So the cool thing about this venue is they stagger all the set times, so that you, in theory, could catch like 15 minutes of every band if you wanted to. You could just kind of walk the whole venue. And actually, this year, this is the first year they're doing an outside stage as well. So hopefully the weather cooperates, because they're going to be doing. And this is we've had so much interest from local bands wanting to play on this, that they've actually added an outdoor area. So we played 7:15 in the Revival Room, 2 bands after your brother's band, so I'm looking forward to catching them, and it's going to be
gonna be awesome. And even better, the FC doesn't play till Sunday this week, so finally not a date, not a conflict with a home game for the Rockin' Revival.
I think last year there wasn't a conflict, maybe 2 years ago, but it literally just seemed like every year there's a conflict, and I say the sign, I do the sign of the cross every time I see the schedule release. I'm like, please don't be on a Saturday, or at least be away. So this is great because it's a home game, but it's a Sunday, so you can that weekend, it can be jam packed.
Oh, that'll be a blast. Now, do I have it correct? If you buy a ticket, it gets you access to the whole thing, right? Like it's not ticketed per band or per room or anything like that.
It's $25, and that gets you access to the whole day, every single room, and it's a great time. It's like local music is certainly something that I think is starting to have a little bit of a renaissance, kind of with what we talked about. And this is a really good culmination of that renaissance, I would say. It's always been there. It's kind of been that that steady festival through these ups and downs with local music, and it's cool that it can kind of now ride that the momentum of it coming back to even further heights. And so it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. It's one of my kind of like we mentioned, the start of the season, Rock and Revival always just kind of felt like the start of our season, quote unquote, with local music, because it's usually in March, and typically we don't really play in January or February. It's just you're just getting out of the holidays, and it's not the most fun time to play. It's shitty weather, no one's really going out anyway, so this always kind of feels like kind of the formal start to our local touring year, we'll say.
Oh man, that is awesome. So where can people go to learn more, buy tickets?
So there's Rock and Revival. There's an Instagram page that I know is probably the best place that you can, Instagram and Facebook page. Okay. I know Adam's running, and that has all the information. I believe you can go on Southgate House website, and they'll give you all the links as well to all of this stuff. I don't know if they have a formal website for the Rock and Revival. I know pretty much all the communication I get is through like the Instagram page or like email. But if you go on Instagram, follow them on their Facebook, you'll have all the information. I don't believe there's any benefit of getting tickets at the door online. I think you actually might avoid fees if you get them at the door. But it's attendance is usually is very well. I don't think it's ever sold out, but I don't know. Sometimes they do like at the door is 30, but I can't recall off the top of my head. But I know like the list price is 25, but there might be some fees online. So regardless, it goes to a good cause, and
we always know fees go to a good cause.
Yeah, the fees for sure. Fees are definitely going to charity.
Oh my God. Well, Shwy, it was great having you stop by. It was great running into you at the grocery store an hour before we sat down for this conversation.
That was pretty surreal, pretty simulation moment.
And as I told Kevin, this is going to be a way more upbeat segment than segment one is /was. So
I luckily did not catch the game because we were playing that other music festival. So it seems like that was a good call from what I've heard.
Job well done.
Go back, watch the first 15-20 minutes, and then turn it off, and then you're good.
Love it.
Everyone lived happily ever after.
Well, guys, thanks so much for having me on. I think this is at least the third time I've come on here and promoted this event. And, I always appreciate you guys, giving me a voice to promote this event, because it's one of my favorite events of the year. And hopefully I can see you guys and some of your, the 12 listeners out there. It'd be great to see everybody and just, share a Foster's or a Rheingeist and enjoy some live music. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking with you, and best of luck to you guys for this year.
Definitely. We will see you Saturday.
Yes. Later, guys. For sure.
All right, we are back, and again, huge thank you to Shwy for coming on and doing the show. Chief, I've been before. I know you go every year that is realistic for you to be there. It's a great time. I highly recommend people coming out.
It's a good show. It's a good cause. It's a great venue. It's all local music. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's the kind of thing that I wish there was more of when I was younger in Cincinnati, where there was more of a live local music scene. Come out, support it. You'll have a blast. I guarantee. It's one of my favorite events that I look forward to every year. And I would say that if I didn't know people playing at the event.
Yeah. No. So check it out. You might run into me and Chief there. I don't know. I think Grayson's out of town.
Run into me.
Grayson, I think, is skiing, so you won't run into Grayson. But
I'm not skiing, but I will be out of town.
I'll be wishing he was skiing out of town. So this takes us to Patreon questions. If you did not know, we have a Patreon, helps keep the show afloat. And as a part of that, you get to ask us some questions. We do not have any written submissions for February, And I need to post, and we'll be posting tonight, the March questions, but we do have a couple of voicemails to get to. So
just one question: cats or dogs? Thanks.
Ooh. Cats or dogs?
Cats or dogs? Didn't get a name with this submission, so very intriguing. Cats or dogs?
I am horrendously allergic to cats. I find the idea of cats fine, but for that reason, I'm out on cats. I must be a dog person.
Yeah. I'm also like deathly allergic to cats. I'm allergic to some dogs, not all dogs though. Yeah, I gotta go dogs.
I currently own a cat. I've got 2 dogs. I've had up to 2 cats. Only have ever had 2 dogs at any one time. The idea of a cat, Chief, 100%, is so much better than the reality of a cat. I love my cat. I love him to death. He's a good guy. He's been around with me for like 15 years now. No signs of slowing down. Giant jungle cat, very playful. If you watch the video of the podcast, he will occasionally pop up.
Yeah, there's a cameo in the background every so often. If you're an eagle-eared listener, you can hear Kevin's buddy down there in the basement. So I have a problem with life. So like I have a lot of problems with life, but okay. So one is that I do feel like we sort of have plateaued in a lot of areas in society where we are not pushing forward or pushing the boundaries on things.
Okay.
One of those is like sports, where by and large, we are still playing and watching the same sports that we have been playing and watching for like the last 100 years. And they've tried to catch other sports on. Okay. And it's been marginally successful in certain ways, but it feels like in my lifetime that we should have invented a new sport that has really taken hold, and really nothing has. And that's kind of weird to me that we haven't been continually evolving something new. The other one is we've been stuck on the cat and dog thing for a really long time. And I think it's time to domesticate a new animal. Like, I think it's time. Like we have the ability, we have the technology. There was the articles a couple months ago about how raccoons are slowly becoming or showing signs of domestication. Yeah. I'm thinking it's time for us as a society that we need to add a third option beyond cat and dog when it comes to, you know, socially acceptable companion animal, something that's like up there in that echelon. I don't know what, but there's got to be something there, I think.
I once stayed at an Airbnb in Kentucky that was owned by they were artists, a woman, her husband, and their boyfriend. And
love that for them.
They had a raccoon that they had rescued that had 3 legs.
That's awesome.
It was a very cute, very nice little raccoon. People got to hold it. It was great.
Big fan of the number 3 in that Airbnb.
Yeah. Yep. Chief, there's some stuff. There's a lot of not safe for pod content around that Airbnb. I'll share one thing. We were in like a big group, and so in
also their thing.
Yep. In my bedroom, there was a painting that had been done of a individual with a raccoon head and raccoon tail,
Mario,
and fully anatomically correct human male body.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hell yeah.
That raises so many questions about the raccoon pet that I don't want to ask.
And so, Chief, on the I don't think that anything was untoward was going on with the raccoon.
Okay, thank God.
On the like no new sports thing, I think the issue is that the sports that we have are the ones that like people played,
right,
and became popular because people liked to play them. And then people liked to go out and like watch others play them, and they caught on kind of organically.
Right.
You're not going to get a new sport that is good in today's climate. All you're going to get is pickleball.
And I don't want pickleball.
No,
and pickleball is
you're going to get something that is like focus grouped, or it's like some like billionaires just got this like weird thing he wants to do, or some company is like trying to promote some product. Like, it's not going to be something that became popular because people liked it and it became a business because people liked it. It's all going to start as a business and then try to trick us into thinking that people like it.
So we truly are culturally stagnating then at that point. Like we're done.
Yeah.
I would throw out there, I think this is sort of a shot in the dark. So if 20 years back, if I nail this shot, I'll feel really proud of myself. I think there is the opportunity for volleyball to sneak into. I'm not saying it's new, but I think it could sneak into a sort of major American sport conversation like NASCAR did back in the day, like soccer's sort of pushing that conversation now. I think volleyball has the right pieces in place to sneak into that conversation.
All right.
But it's not new, but yeah.
Raccoons.
If anything, Chief,
Pet
I
raccoons.
think the
Raccoons
evidence
playing volleyball.
Raccoons playing volleyball.
I would watch the hell out of that.
I'd watch that too. Yeah, honestly.
People will say esports. I don't think that's ever going to.
That's not a sport.
I don't think it's going to do that. Yeah. The other thing is, Chief, you mentioned raccoons. There's evidence, particularly in the UK, that foxes seem to have given up on being wild animals as well.
Yeah. There's actually a thing over in Russia where they were doing like a 70-year study on trying to domesticate foxes. I'm also in on foxes as an option too. Sure.
There is one competition that does seem to have really taken the kids by storm lately.
Uh-oh.
It's mogging.
Mogging, yeah. Looks maxing.
Looks maxing. Go to the Post website, buy a Looks maxing hammer. I feel like now for sale.
I know people are going to say like this is your algorithm, but it's really not. I feel like every other tweet I see, it's like ASU frat bro mogs off with number 162 ranked Looks maxer Chad or whatever. Okay.
What are we doing?
No. Okay. So what we need is we need to make Gen Z apparel for soccer with the Post logo. So the Post logo on a kit, the across the middle, it's goal maxers. It's number 6'7" on the back.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Number 6'7" jersey.
So it's like goal maxing and like cortisol
6 months ago.
Up.
Goal maxing, max cortisol. Soccer mog.
I'm going to have Damon write the most Gen Z recap of the next match. It's going to be horrific and it'll be fun. And it'll ruin his reputation.
Instead of the hat that's nooning out, nooning in, it's just cap, no cap.
That would be good. Just a cap that says cap on it real quick.
Yeah.
That'd be good. All right. Last question we have here.
This is Daniel. My biggest disappointment was seeing My Chemical Romance. I was really hoping they would be better live, but they suck live.
Got him.
So
was that the whole thing?
That was the entirety of it. Was hyped as hell to see My Chemical Romance and built it up. Saw them live and they were terrible live, according to Daniel. Have either of you, Chief, you feel like the kind of guy that would buy lots of concert tickets and have had some stinkers in his day. Has anything stuck out to you?
Like really bad? I haven't been to a really bad concert in a while. I went to a couple when I was in college. Like I saw a band called Oleander that was absolutely terrible.
Any like big headliners that were just like
not
what you wanted? No.
I've been pretty good. I haven't gotten burned on a concert in a really long time. I remember back, I think it was NoFX, the punk band that had one of their albums was I Heard They Suck Live, which is it's a phenomenal name.
That's good.
Yeah, I get burned more by movies. Like I've seen a lot of shitty movies where I was like, oh, I thought that was going to be a lot better. Concerts, I usually know going into it what I'm in for, and I do try to avoid bands where it's like, I don't know that this would be a really good live act to see, and that generally keeps me happy.
I'm pretty forgiving with live music. Like I just tend to find live. I'm not like a concert snob or nerd about the experience. I tend to find most live music to be pretty enjoyable, at least on some level. I think probably the worst set I've ever seen, or at least the most disappointing set that I've ever seen was MGMT at Bunbury.
Oh,
they were just like fully checked out.
Yeah. Fascinating band, MGMT.
Yeah, I like MGMT. I just felt like that show. I was like, they don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Oh okay, no, I just meant in the sense that like they solved the music industry. Like we're gonna come out, we're gonna have like 2 or 3 radio number ones, and we're gonna leave. And that's what they did.
So I actually, now that I think about it, I do have an answer to that question.
Ooh.
So I saw, and this is one where it's like, it wasn't that this person
By the
sucked.
way, the question, to be clear, the question that was posed was, My Chemical Romance sucked live.
I think Kevin posted his.
Kevin asked the question.
Yeah, Kevin asked the question. Yeah.
The question was a moment in your life where you were really looking forward to something and it didn't live up to the expectation, or vice versa, something you were dreading and it ultimately ended up being great or whatever.
So sometimes where you can get over your skis a little bit when it comes to live music is that there are some times where you catch a band or an act too late. And to me, it's like, I'm not going to get mad about that because I paid to see you when you were way past your prime. And the number one example of this for me was that a couple years ago before he died, I saw Rodriguez, who was if you've ever seen it, they're one of my favorite documentaries I've ever seen made is a movie called Searching for Sugar Man. And it's about a guy from Detroit who was, everybody in the industry thought was going to be the next Bob Dylan, basically. And he hit mildly, but like really didn't hit big. But where he hit huge was over in South Africa. And he was like the music of the resistance of the apartheid generation. And the movie is about 2 people from South Africa who are looking to see whatever happened to Rodriguez because they can't believe that like he never kept making music. He never kept, because he was such a big hit over there. And it's a fascinating movie. His album Cold Fact is like one of the best albums I've ever listened to. But I saw him come through Cincinnati like a couple of years before he died, and he was very clearly too old to be performing still. But it was still cool. So it was disappointing in that, like, this sucks. I wish I would have seen him like 5-10 years ago, but it was still really, really cool to see him. And I was there more for the experience of being able to say, yeah, I saw this guy while he was still around and performing. So like you can sometimes get that. Like my father-in-law went to go see Paul McCartney when he was in Columbus a couple months ago. And he said it was still a really good show, but like, that'll be another one where there will be a time when you go to see Paul and it's like, oh man, like,
this is rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the opposite situation, and what I refer to as like, not necessarily dreading this, but as like a goof, me and my dad and my brother went to go see Weird Al like a couple of years ago. I was just like, Weird Al's in town. Let's go. That'll be funny. And it was like genuinely impressive, the amount of work and effort that went into the live show and the number of costume changes and how quick everything was. The showmanship was top notch. It was not what I was expecting. And maybe I should have expected that, but that was really, really fun. And
Weird Al always delivers, man.
I would see him again next time he comes through. That was a blast. Is
that it for the Patreon, Kevin?
That is it. That'll do it. I'll pose another question in March or not. I don't know. People didn't really seem to like it when I turned the tables on them. So maybe in March we go back to the traditional setup. But
I like that. Get back to the original setup. Do we have a Patreon happy hour on Tuesday too?
We have a Patreon happy hour on Tuesday. I will make an announcement in the Discord. So a link will be made available to patrons. It'll probably be a YouTube live video situation. So about an hour, come hang out around 5 o'clock on Tuesday. We'll be shooting the shit, and hope to see you there. Again, that's for the higher level patrons.
The high dollar. High dollar, the high roller room.
Only for the big donors, okay?
Only for the fans. If you want more OnlyFans content from the post,
You got to pay up.
Yeah.
I might show my feet on stream. We'll see.
Yeah. Promo code Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. I think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors, a even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon, but maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.